All right, everybody. We can all hear me? You guys' theories about what I'm doing before I start the stream, they're completely wrong. Martinez says, Morge finishing up his meal from HelloFresh. No, I eat after the stream. And I usually DoorDash from Sweet Green on stream days because I don't feel like cooking when it's late. All right, so today we're going to do a tier list that I really wanted to do actually for some time. The cover stories tier list, because this one is a bit of a serious tier list. Okay, this is not just something like a joke, like whatever the fuck we did last time. What did we do last time? Probably something stupid. Let me see. Last time we did a reaction. That was fun, but I'm saying last tier list. One Piece best captains tier list. That was kind of serious. We took that a little seriously, right? But this one is a serious tier list. This is best cover stories. Best cover stories. Phantom Greyfire says, warning, spoilers get insta-ban. I agree. Everybody like the stream. Like the stream and don't post spoilers. Let's all do that. Like the stream, don't post spoilers. Juan Pret says, only serious. That's right. This is big stuff. The cover stories are so cool. In that, like, it's like hidden One Piece content that you forget exists until at some point you're really bored. You're like, man, I wish I had some. I don't want to reread a One Piece arc, but I do want to reread some One Piece. And it's like, oh, how about these bonus stories that are canon and not like the dumb novels and stuff like that? They're actually in the manga. So that's I don't know. Cover stories they're an Oda special, right? Am I crazy or do other mangaka? I might be showing my ignorance here, but I feel like other mangaka, at least from anyone that I've ever read, do not do cover stories. Does anyone else do cover stories? Virgil Hawkins says, Morge, do you watch HBO's Barry? No, but I've seen clips of it, and some of the clips are pretty funny. I know it's not like a comedy comedy series or anything like that, but I've seen some clips that, like, there's like a bald guy. He's pretty funny. I've got the gist of Barry. I got the idea of what it's about pretty much down. It seems good. Pengu Puncher says, why is the chat so small, Lorge? Well, that's because I forgot to change it. All right, how about this? I'm getting close to fixing fixing some things. That sounded really not promising. All right, some things that are being changed. Tomorrow's video title is going to be positive. All right, we're going to test that out. We're going to test out a positive video title tomorrow. And we're going to test out a bit of a different style of thumbnails. Spoilers, we're trying to rip straight from O'Hara. DR says, like the stream. Also, Morge, if you had to... I agree. Everybody like the stream. If you had to get rid of one straw hat from the story, who would it be? Get rid of one straw hat from the story. I mean, that's pretty easy. I think I would get rid of Jinbei. Not because I don't like Jinbei. That's not the case anymore. I like Jinbei now. I've come around to it because he's based off of Indian... well, not Indians, but... he is supposedly Indian in ethnicity. And just other reasons. I like Jinbei better now. I don't mind him. But I would remove Jinbei just because he's the most recent crewmate. That's pretty much it. In that, like, it's not very complicated. It's literally just that I think that at some point, I don't know, I can't pinpoint what point that was, but I did start to feel as though we were hitting diminishing returns in terms of how many main characters, main Straw Hats we needed, because... you know, space just gets clogged, especially post-timeskip where we have a lot of other characters and allies that we're interacting with. So I can't say a hard cutoff point as in, okay, I feel like after Robin we had too many Straw Hats. Because I like Frankie. I can't say, okay, after Frankie we had too many Straw Hats. Although I get closer to being like, yeah, I like Brooke, but maybe we could have done without Brooke. And, you know, once we're at Jinbei, I'm probably just going to go with the most recent Straw Hat whenever we do this sort of a question. So even if we get like 2 more Straw Hats, I'll probably just, if you ask me, hey, if we could cut one Straw Hat, who would it be? I would probably just always say the most recent Straw Hat. Because I never feel as though we need more Straw Hats. It's kind of nice to have, but also potentially past the point of nice to have at this point. Van Hort says, if we get to 1K likes... oh, god damn it. What is this shit? Morge will talk about cute boys for the rest of the stream. All right, let's just try and get the like numbers up, and we'll talk deals when we get to it. Keenan says, positive Morge. I believe it when I see it. Well, look out for tomorrow's video, all right? And let's see if this one hits 1 million, 2 million views, because the title will be positive. So let's let's hope that this works out. This positive scheme may be the big game changer in terms of I don't know, whatever. Just a big game changer. It doesn't have to be a game changer for anything specific. Just a game changer, all right? So tomorrow, positive title. Positive title. That's pretty much it. The video is basically the same as it would be. I cannot pronounce this name. Something. Morji. What is going on today? Morji-kun, you're looking really cute today. Your lips. I don't know how I feel about these comments. All right, we're going to stop this for now. Everyone just focus on liking the stream, and we'll just do that for the moment. Ivan back from the card shop. Mr. George, do you think pre-time skip Luffy could take a Tobi Roppo? Vivre cards... No, definitely not, because the easiest way we can scale is through the Pacifista. The Pacifista, as we know, Luffy had no chance. I mean, you could make the argument that, hey, maybe Luffy, if he went all out by himself and, like, was near the brink of death, he could maybe take out a Pacifista solo. I don't know, but at best, we know that, you know, the Pacifista are the best metric, you know, they're the best thing that we can go off of to say, you know, here's a measuring stick. Okay, pre-time skip Luffy and really the pre-time skip Strats all together, they can beat about one Pacifista, right? So post-time skip Luffy can one-shot Pacifistas, right? But you compare post-time skip Luffy in Wano, so honestly, probably solidly improved, actually significantly improved from when he was at Fishman, or when he one-shotted those Pacifista. Luffy in Wano, he couldn't one-shot Ulti or Page 1. In fact, it's, you know, in base form at the time that he was fighting Ulti, it was kind of even. I'm sure Luffy would have beaten her in base form. Like, this was before he got all of his Conqueror's Haki upgrades and everything like that. But it's nowhere near a one-shot or anything. So the Tobi Roppo are far, far above pre-time skip Luffy. Way above. Yeah, just put my contacts in, so my eyesight is it's a little blurry at the moment. Trying to read. Okay, no, things are clearing up. But chat seems very small to me. Trying to read out what people are saying. Have I read Slam Dunk? No, I'm not big on the sports manga, although I know that one's really good. Boss D Jinbei says a bounty poster cover series would be dope. I mean, we've had that a few times now. That would be the... Yeah, we've had that so many times at this point. It's like, yeah, it would be cool. It would definitely be cool post-Wano if we did another one of those, like the 500 million man. But I do think that the next big bounty that we get, I would like to have actual full chapters to get the full reactions and everything like that. I think that's where I'm at this point. It was cool for the 500. 500 honestly was a very underwhelming amount considering, you know, how much Luffy had grown. Like, this was his first post-time skip bounty. He'd just taken down Doflamingo and everything like that. 500 was a little underwhelming. It looks like because they really split the credit between Luffy and Law. But at the same time, I think that's why 1.5 billion got to be so exciting, right? Because the jump was so absurdly huge. And I think similarly, we're going to get a really big jump at the end of Wano. Blue says, Morge, what do you think about Zunisha being a pedophile as her crime? What is going on today? What is going on today? Whose chat is this? Somebody come pick this chat up. I want a new one. I don't need any of this. Let's say Zunisha's crime is most likely not being a pedophile. Who would Zunisha have? If Zunisha was a pedophile, then why would an entire civilization want to go live on Zunisha? Huh? That doesn't even make sense. It's like, all right, your crime is to babysit all of these minks for the rest of eternity. Doesn't even make sense. Thomas Cass says, I also don't like sports manga except one... Give me a second, my eyes will adjust. One out. Imagine Death Note / Kaiji plus baseball. Also fake deaths tier list. If we did a fake deaths tier list... I mean, I know fake deaths tier list is honestly a good idea. but it would just be such a toxic stream. I think it would just be a very, very negative stream. And as we know, we are now an extremely positive channel. We've completely turned everything around. We are pure positivity only. In all seriousness, I think a fake deaths tier list, it would go by pretty quick. I think we can all agree that probably Pell is the worst, in my opinion. I think we'd all agree Pell is probably the worst. I would say Pound is Pound is probably a solid second. Yeah, we can rattle it off right now. Pell, I think, is the worst. Pound is next. I think Kiku is third, in my opinion. There's not that many bad fake deaths, in my opinion. They're just enough that you could potentially make a tier list out of it, which is actually, in that case, pretty bad, right? I think Pell is the worst, then Pound, then Kiku. Then Kinemon I don't think was that bad at all. Kinemon, Pagaya, I think those guys, I think not that bad at all because you really didn't get much of a death scene out of them. I think fake deaths are the worst when Oda makes a huge scene out of them. Like, Pell was a full fucking chapter. Pound was a full fucking chapter. He did everything perfect. And that's the thing. There were perfect death scenes. Kinemon, he had a very, like, his death scene, it was a couple pages. It was deliberately ambiguous. We could all tell it was ambiguous, right? You could kind of write him off as dead, but Oda didn't really, he did not, like, try and make it really, really conclusive. It was kind of just a scary scene. And he didn't, and for the significance of Kinemon as a character, it was extremely little, it was an extremely, I guess, a minor send-off for a character that's been around as long as him. So we could kind of all expect, right, that he's not actually dead. If you look at someone like Pell, Pound, these are characters that got full chapters devoted to them who weren't even that significant of characters in the first place, right? Whereas Kinemon, I think most people knew that Kinemon wasn't dead. And not that he wasn't dead, but also didn't even seem like Oda was really writing a death scene, at least to me, when I read that Kinemon chapter. I thought he was definitely doing it for Kiku. Yeah, we'll let a few more people come in here, and then we will get started on the cover list. Not cover list. Tier list. Tier list. You know what I mean? Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers. Yeah, that's the thing. As Hello Play said, Pell had a whole goated chapter for his death. I mean, I agree. Pell had his death was actually really, really good, and that's what's so sad. It would have been one of the highlights of Alabasta if Oda had not changed it. It would have been one of the best moments in Alabasta. Ashanti Seppuku, message retracted. All right. Kakashi Snitch 9 says, if Luffy is Joy Boy, then does that make Blackbeard sad girl? I don't know if it works like that, but maybe a sad girl exists in the One Piece verse. I would honestly say if we're being real, it's fucking Shirahoshi, right? The two sovereigns, one you got Joy Boy and then Shirahoshi, the sad girl, literally called Crybaby, right? It actually plays out pretty well. Uninspired says, did you play Flash games? No, this is not 2004. There are real games out there now. Real video games that you can actually play. I can't pronounce your name. Call me South-kun. Oh, that helps. My lovely Morji-kun. Hashtag cute boy. All right. Thanks, South-kun. I hope to see less of you. Marcus Aurelius says, did you watch 1015 yet, Morj? I swear to God, I planned to watch it this weekend, and then I just didn't. But the intent was there. The intent is to watch it at some point, guaranteed for sure. But I don't know when it's going to happen. And I considered doing a reaction to it, but for things that I think I'm going to enjoy, like actual entertainment, I would rather not do reactions. I think I've explained this many times at this point. Bunfagun says, Will of P greater than Virgin Will of D. I mean, Will of P is really, really strong. Will of P is extraordinarily strong. Like, Will of D is more like, yeah, you're probably going to... It's more of a guaranteed that you're going to die at some point, right? We've got a lot of people dying who have the Will of D. But Will of P is basically you're invincible. It's kind of insane. Leo Recto says, India tier list when? I don't even know what that means. Do you mean like places it? What does that even mean? What does that mean? Yeah, people are mad I haven't watched 1015. Don't worry, I'll do it at some point. All right. Yeah, I don't have a good excuse for not having watched it. I just didn't. Also, I should be looking up at the same time. Are there good? I swear there was like a good One Piece tier list maker for cover stories. There was something. I just don't know if it's super up to date. And we've had a really good tier list or cover story going on recently, right? With the, I mean, hopefully it's the Blackbeard Pirates. Basically, I kind of am just chalking it up to being the Blackbeard Pirates at this point. But if we got the Blackbeard Pirates invading Whole Cake Island, I personally think that would probably be the most exciting cover story we've ever gotten. NL shit is really exciting in retrospect. But I think at the time it wasn't as hype. Oh god, does this cover everything? Why did this person do it? You can't even tell what it is. All right, I might have to whip up something. Let's see. Mr. Crescent says, how would you justify One Piece's length? I will never understand people who genuinely blindly hate One Piece and only say it's too long. Length doesn't even correlate to quality. I know a lot of it is jokes, but some are serious. I think I genuinely don't really understand that because to me how long One Piece is actually one of the biggest appeals of the story. It's what makes people so engrossed and immersed in the series, right? Because there's so much to talk about. It's such a long journey. You can't help but, I guess, be sucked in to that adventure because of the magnitude of the story, right? So it's such a long, rich, layered story, yada, yada, yada. I understand that for some people it's just daunting or intimidating. It makes sense to me if I look at it like this. So right now, let's say I've got several things in my watch list, okay? Watch list, read list, whatever, right? Everybody has a watch list, read list. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of you, right? You got your watch list, you got your read list. You've got, I don't know, your next 4, 5, 6 things that everybody's been recommending to you, or it's caught your eye, it's been trending online, whatever. So you've got this list, and hopefully you kind of just, you're trying to set aside time to basically, okay, let me try this first. Let me try whatever it is, Stranger Things. Let me try Spy Family, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is, but you've got your watch list pretty much set out. One Piece is this sort of weird, glaring exception in that it's basically, imagine you have your nice little watch list and you're like, I could watch this first, then this. But then you get to One Piece, and One Piece is basically like having its own separate watch list on its own. So it's kind of understandable because it's basically, if you try One Piece, you're not really, it's whether you watch it or read it, the commitment is basically the equivalent of taking on 6 normal series. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, let me try One Piece. It's like, let me commit to trying, 6 manga combined into one, right? So it makes sense to me why people would feel hesitant to try it, because the commitment is just so huge, and it basically means you can't really do anything or watch anything else in the meantime. Now, I know a lot of people go in and out of One Piece, so they'll follow One Piece for a bit, then something else, then come back to One Piece, then something else. But not everybody is like that. Me personally, I'm not like that. So honestly, I don't try and, if I'm trying to catch up on a series, I'll just finish that series first before I move on to something else. So I can understand people who are intimidated by how long One Piece is. I get it. But there are people who use it as like a criticism of the series without ever having tried it, which makes no sense, because it's not bad to be, a 1,000 chapter, 1,000 episode long series. That's in no way a flaw of the story. It just means that that's something that might dissuade you from wanting to initially give it a shot. But I am surprised anytime I see people say, oh, fuck this shit, it's like 1,000 episodes long, whatever. Bunfagum says, thoughts on Nami plus Robin abandoning Otoko Act 2? Can you specify? Let me think back to Nami. Okay, Nami and Robin abandoning Otoko in Act 2. Let me think. Because Nami, she's in ninja mode first. When does Nami first meet Otoko? Is it in the Shogun's Palace scene? That is the first time that Nami's meeting Otoko. Robin obviously meets her back when Sanji's selling noodles and shit. Do they abandon her? Or is she just... basically like they assume that she escaped? Do you know what I mean? Because the Shogun's Palace scene was a a lot of crazy, wacky stuff going on, and I don't know if anybody abandoned anybody, but it was just kind of assumed that, okay, there's been a commotion, and Otoko probably got away. I don't know. I'd have to read again. Under Joggerwall says, no reason to ask NBA questions to more, Jaha. He's quite the casual. Fuck off. I mean, I would say I was not a casual 2-3 years. I haven't watched as much this season, so I can't really say anything about that. Nothing wrong with that, but you shouldn't care much about his opinion on that. Okay, the way you phrased this made me upset. Let me take a look at what the comment was. I'm gonna find this comment and I'm gonna respond to it. It's a comment from Ashanti Seppuku. Where's that at? Oh wait, here's where we're at. Ashanti Seppuku says, I feel dumb for not typing my message. I didn't even realize it was a super anyway. Do you feel dumb for saying Steph Curry isn't a good defender? Love your work. Him having one good defensive play doesn't make him a good defender. He's not okay. He's probably not as bad of a defender as he once was, but he's definitely not a good defender. He's definitely not like a great defender. Like, you can have good, anyone can have good defensive plays sometimes. Any player can have good defensive plays sometimes. That doesn't make them a good defender. Brandon King says, One Piece race tier list, rank by enjoyment. Did I read this right? One Piece race tier list, rank by enjoyment in each arc. Okay, I could do that. Actually, that's like a really funny tier list that we could do. A race tier list. Okay, I also have a request. I have a request while we're doing this. Okay? Can somebody... I'm so sorry to ask this. I'm not that sorry, but it's okay. The tier list that we have right now that I'm looking at on Tier List Maker, all of the images are in black and white. I don't think that makes for a particularly attractive tier list. I think that it would be much better if we had a tier list that was in color. Okay? So here is my request. I'm going to drop 2 links. Can somebody please, first person to produce this tier list and it looks okay will be made a mod, okay? That's the only thing I can really offer you guys. But somebody please, here, let me pin this. These are the digitally colored One Piece comics, okay? And the cover stories, the first chapter of each cover story can be found easily on the One Piece wiki. I guess I'll paste that here as well. But yeah, can somebody go to tierlistmaker.com and just drop in some images for the cover story so that we have something better to look at than the black and white? If nobody wants to, then we'll do the black and white. It just looks ugly and it's not as fun. All right? Wait, no, everybody stop. Everybody stop. The mod offer is off the table. Mr. Crescent has got it. He's the guy who's going to take care of it. Mr. Crescent's got it. All right? The mod offer is off the table. Stricken. We're all going to wait on Mr. Crescent, and then the stream will start. Sorry, the stream. The primary focus of the stream will start shortly. Oh, let me catch up. Ramona Vila says, Lord talking about NBA is almost as credible as Positive Morge. I'm a Steph Curry fan. He is my second favorite player in the NBA, believe it or not. He is the player that got me into watching the NBA, okay? I was one of those bandwagoners, you know? I think he's great. I think that he's got an argument for best player in the NBA right now, even though a lot of people are just chanting Giannis, blah, 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 all right? He's not a great defender. I don't think he's even an above-average defender. That's such a bullshit new narrative that's popped up just this season. Brandon King, so One Piece race tier list. It would be fun. A race tier list would be fun, but I don't think it's kind of like the fake out debts thing. I don't think we have enough races to make a proper tier list out of it. I mean, like, some stuff we can say right off the bat. Long arm, long leg tribe, straight to the bottom. That's just Oda. That's literally just Oda. I don't even know what to say about those 2 races. It's just Oda being like, fuck it. This is a new race. Long. What if people's arms were long? What if people's legs were wrong? That's a new race. And we can put those guys all the way to the bottom. The Minks are a great race. The Minks are an amazing race ever since Rise Odona is safe. I think Minks cemented themselves as top 1. I think the Fishmen are a pretty dope race as well. If you look at, I don't know, anyone that's not Arlong and Hordy and such. Giants kind of suck, right? Can we all agree the Giants kind of suck? The Giants, they kind of suck, right? It's like you've got all these physical advantages, right? But at the same time, what, Big Mom beats you up when she's like 5 years old, right? I've never seen Giants really do work ever since Dorian Broggy. They've kind of just existed to get fucked up ever since Dorian Broggy. Dorian Broggy was Giants at their peak. After Dorian Broggy was kind of just like, yeah, I don't know about these guys being that big of a deal. I remember in Marineford, they had lined up this huge Giant squad, and it looked really, really cool in Marineford. And basically that entire Giant squad existed for Ors Jr. to come up and just be like, well, I'm the biggest Giant of them all, so fuck you guys. And then he just destroys all these Vice Admiral Giants. I don't know if they're all Vice Admirals, but he destroys quite a few Giants. Akash Panda says he has his statues made, has a ship named after him, is the figurehead of said ship, has physically hurt a celestial dragon, is called a god. Am I talking about Luffy or Usopp? That is actually hilarious. Usopp doesn't have a ship named after. Oh, no. I think the Tontadas or something like that, right? Yeah, the Tontadas. Am I totally off base on that? Tontada's ship? Let me take a look. Tontada's ship. Yeah. You are right. All of this could apply to Luffy or Usopp. All of it could apply to either, which is pretty crazy. Bunfagum says, Usopp's such a great character. By the way, the video tomorrow, funnily enough, is actually an Usopp video. So look out for it. It's a positive title on an Usopp video. It's guaranteed to do amazing. Bunfagum says, no, we covered this. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place at the moment. Supreme Pirate King says, people be like, One Piece is too long, then rewatch Naruto and Naruto, ship it in 6 times, filler included. I will still, okay, I understand that because, like, from my perspective, okay, here's my thing. I'm kind of like that with Kingdom right now. Kingdom's pretty long. I'm like, I want to read Kingdom. I read the initial arc, and I like the initial arc quite a bit. Then I took a bit of a break from it. Now going back seems like such a slog. Like, it seems like it's going to take so long, even though I'm sure I'll enjoy the story, okay? So I get it, and it's easy to go back to, it's like comfort food, right? So you want to go back to things that you already know and love and enjoy and just watch it or reread it over and over. So I used to do that quite a bit with One Piece. Like, I would just go back and reread a One Piece arc if I didn't feel like trying something new. Thomas Cass says, stinkiest fishman tier list. That is also easy because we can kind of just go... No, I don't know enough about fish to say accurately what's the worst smelling fish. Southkin says, why do people complain how long One Piece is? The longer it is, the better. Don't you agree, my cute Morji-kun? You're my waifu, hashtag cute Morjfu. Don't be mean to me. I'm so done with this guy. Why am I a waifu? At least make me the other one. The husbando. Bunfagum says, most developed Straw Hat relationship, including L and Z. Excluding L and Z. Most developed Straw Hat relationship is probably Luffy Usopp, or... Yeah, I think Luffy Usopp. It's Luffy someone, right? So it's either Luffy Usopp, Luffy Zoro, or Luffy Nami. I think Luffy Usopp has been through the most ups and downs. Luffy Zoro is the most sort of in sync in many ways, but you know, the moments that they're not in sync obviously are when Zoro disagrees with something captain related, etc. Luffy Nami is interesting because I think Luffy Nami has had very little. She's been I mentioned this in a video, right? She's been sort of his number one cheerleader, supporter, basically, for most of the New World. I think since I don't know. I mean, since the beginning of the New World, obviously, but I think especially since Whole Cake Island, the Luffy Nami, I guess, dynamic or, you know, whatever has been really played up. So it depends, different points in the series. Like Luffy Usopp has not been touched on in a long time, but obviously at its peak, it was the most engaging, you know, crew, intra-crew dynamic in One Piece. Luffy Nami's probably been more prominent recently, Luffy Zoro probably as well, but in terms of important moments, I think Luffy Usopp is peak. Cedre. Why do you think people like Yamato more than the Scabbards, despite the Scabbards being the story for more and arguably having more focus? Because Yamato, it's literally all Yamato's design. It's literally 100% Yamato's design. If Yamato did not have the, I've said this before. If Yamato looked like Weevil, Yamato has 0 fans. Yamato has the same number of fans as Weevil. If Yamato and Weevil swap designs, then Weevil is suddenly. Imagine this. Okay, alternate reality. Yamato and Weevil swap designs. Okay, Weevil. Imagine Weevil is this hot 10-foot tall Amazon Shichibukai. I guess that's just Boa Hancock, right? But you know what I mean, right? Weevil is basically, imagine Yamato as a Shichibukai just wandering the world and we only get her for 1 chapter. I guarantee she would be top 15, top 20 on popularity polls regularly, and people would be like, oh, when's the next time we get to see Weevil? When's the next time we get to see Weevil? I'm so interested in Weevil. Instead, Weevil looks like a fucking doofus, and nobody gives a shit about him because it's just like, who even... people mostly forget that he even exists. Yamato is entirely carried by design. That's just the reality of it. Because imagine if you had a guy like Weevil who literally spams the same dialogue like a fucking NPC over and over, which is like, I'm Odin, I have to do the same thing Odin does, right? He just says that, I got a free Wano, I am Odin. I got a free Wano, I am Odin. He puts it on a shirt, puts it on tape recorder, hits replay over and over. That's Yamato, right? But because of the design, it's like, wow, what an amazing character. She likes Luffy, and she likes freedom, and she likes Odin. It's amazing. In Yamato's favor, I think she has had a few good moments, and I think that her dynamic with Momonosuke is very good, and I think that the speech she gave for Momonosuke in the latest chapter was really, really good. Not latest chapter, you know what I mean, like 1043? I thought she's had good moments and everything like that, but as a character, she's, very, very one-dimensional at the moment. Deliberately so, obviously, because she's got a character arc that clearly needs to happen. Oda's very clearly deliberately writing her very one-dimensionally. But I'm saying at the moment, that's pretty much the reason, and there's not much more to it. Design. Anuj Agrawal says, wasn't trying to be mean. Oh, yeah? I also think Braun is the GOAT. Oh, yeah? So I enjoy your retweets. Oh, yeah? Yeah, my retweets recently have been entirely anti-Kevin Durant, pro-LeBron. But Curry is a good defender. People focus too much on on-ball. Gets targeted, too small, but great rotations, quick hands, etc. Okay, if you want to give an intelligent response like that, what am I supposed to say? I would agree, obviously, Curry's a smart player for the most part, even though, as I remember, he would sometimes go for, bad gambles on defense, but I haven't watched enough this season to say that that's no longer the case. But he's definitely a smart defender, good help defender, etc. I get it. But I just... I wouldn't say he's... I just don't think of him as let me keep watching these playoffs. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll change my mind. I didn't think KD was a good defender for a long time, and I think he's still not, but he's arguably a serviceable rim protector, and he became that over time, right? Basil says, hi, Morge, it's almost 4 a.m. Oh, also, everyone, let's look out for when Mr. Crescent comes back with the tier list, because that's really what we're waiting on. Is Mr. Crescent coming back? Okay, Mr. Crescent says... No, Mr. Crescent is in chat. He's just in chat. Mr. Crescent. He's just in chat. All right. Hopefully we'll get to the tier list at some point. Soon. Morge disaster stream. Wait, what did Mr. Crescent say? Mr. Crescent says, wait, no, I wasn't talking about making the tier list. I'm sorry. Oh my god. All right. I'm not making the tier list. Okay, the bounty is back on. First person to make a tier list with colored panels. Okay, all you have to do is click the link up top. You can find all the colored panels, and you can find the chapter. You can find the chapter that the cover stories start on with the One Piece wiki. All right. So between those two, I think it's not too difficult to do it. If we don't get a submission in the next 15 minutes, I'm just going to use the black and white version, and we'll all be sad. Basil says, hi, Morge. It's almost 4 a.m. where I live, and I never catch your streams because of work, but today I'm awake because of Eid break, so I'm glad to be here. Hey, Basil, I'm glad that you're here as well. Yeah, whoever makes the first submission, I will take Mr. Crescent's mod and give it to them. So, No, I'm kidding. You'll get your own fresh mod. Mr. Crescent gets to remain a mod for doing nothing, but even though he tricked me by volunteering his tribute and then basically saying, nah, I wasn't talking about volunteering his tribute. I just want to chill. Martin Castro says, I've been reading One Piece since 2002. I'm curious to your opinion as to why most One Piece fans have such poor media literacy. Is it an age thing, or is it because they only consume media similar to One Piece? How could I possibly answer this without looking like a giant asshole? How could I possibly answer this without looking like a giant asshole? I think that, look, like, whatever you want to say about One Piece fans, I think that just every fandom for anything ever probably is like a... Nah, that's not true, but some things have different skews or whatever, but... yeah, I think One Piece fans, there's a wide range. There's a wide range because I'll say that lots of times, like, I'll read comments in my YouTube videos and someone will say something that's, you know, really well thought out and eye-opening for me. So stuff like there's a very wide range of One Piece fans. There's different people who enjoy different aspects of it. Although, obviously, sometimes it can feel frustrating when I'm trying to share some of my thoughts and it feels like there's a bit of a disconnect in terms of like, yeah, there's maybe just a disconnect in terms of like I'm like, yeah, this is important for, this is generally considered to be important for storytelling and therefore blah, 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 blah. And there's a disconnect where somebody won't even acknowledge like, oh, this is generally considered important for storytelling because there's just a, I guess, information gap, knowledge gap there or something like that. They're like, why does Morge think that this is important or something? I'm like, it's not even like I think that, like, you can fucking look this up or like it's universally considered that this type of thing is considered important for storytelling, right? So that's the only frustrating thing that I'll say sometimes, but there's a wide range of One Piece fans out there and One Piece readers. Plenty of whom who have like things that they'll share that are eye-opening for me, right? So GK says, as a LeBron and Warriors fan, very strange combination, BTW. I am a LeBron because I don't want to drag NBA discussion out too much. But I was a Warriors fan first because I was a bandwagon NBA joiner, you know, back when the Warriors were going nuts, etc., right? And I disliked LeBron when LeBron beat them in 2016. I was like, fuck this dude. But then the Warriors became progressively less likable with the Kevin Durant edition and everything like that. And I began wanting to see LeBron get back to the finals because I just wanted an interesting finals. Keep in mind, back then, the East had no interesting teams whatsoever. You had like the fucking Raptors pre-Kawhi Leonard. You had like the Wizards. You had the babyface Celtics and stuff like that. So LeBron was the only hope for like an interesting finals. And I wanted to see LeBron keep making it back to the finals. So I watched as over the years, like the next 2 years, basically, like LeBron basically played like the best player in the world by far, and like through Herculean efforts, kept bringing his team back to the finals and actually giving the Warriors, a run for their money in a sense or whatever. It just became difficult, especially after 2018, to not root for him. After 2018, it was like impossible not to root for him, and I don't know. It was some period during the KD Warriors era that I just shifted over to being a LeBron fan because he kind of became the underdog who was clearly the best player in the world. And I just kept being impressed by what he was doing, basically. Disaster Master says, hey, Morge, can you do my English final for me? I don't want to write it. I will the thought of ever having to write like a paper for school again is just so, it makes me angry that I had to do that back in the day. Just because it's like you all know, right? When you don't read the book, right? When you don't read the book, you have to Spark Notes so much information, but then it's time to write the actual paper, so Spark Notes can't save you. So then you actually have to go like skim, read through the book, find your quotes and stuff like that, make up some argument, blah, 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 blah. Although it was 50-50. Like a lot of the English class books I would actually read and enjoy and want to do stuff on them, but sometimes it'd just be like the dumbest shit that they'd make us read, and I'm like, no, this is a Spark Notes book. What if God D Usopp or Buggy D Clown joke was true, says Ivan back from the card shop. I don't think Buggy's a D. I don't think Usopp's a D either. Ramona Villa says Yamato is loved because she is the anti-Kaido. Slave but really good versus Kaido. Strongest / free but bad. Sure. Again, swap her out for Weevil. I don't think anyone would give a fuck. Bunfagum says Yamato desired freedom. Whoops. Okay, I've triggered all the Yamato people. Bunfagum says Yamato desired freedom, thus she became Odin. It's a little more complicated because I mean we can't speak on it for sure just yet, right? We can't speak on it for sure just yet because we still have we still have more to go, obviously, with Yamato as a character. But it did seem largely as though obviously she cares about freedom. Obviously she cares about freedom. But a large part of her desire, it seemed like, to become Odin, based on her flashback and her conversation with Kaido and how Odin is referred to by other characters when they're speaking to Yamato. One thing that it seemed like she really, really cared about was the fact that everybody loved Odin. And Kaido keeps telling her that nobody will ever love you. The people of Wano will never love you because you are an Oni, right? So Yamato, as a child, saw Odin as a figure who basically everybody loved, including the samurai that she was trapped in a cave with. So I think that really stuck with her, and I think that that is part of the reason that it's not that just that she wants freedom. She views it as like, if I become Odin and become everything that he was, basically I will get that love and acceptance from the Wano people. That's at least how it seems to be set up to. I'm not even saying like seems to be set up to basically or whatever, but that is at least some of the interesting dialogue that seems to be coming out of her conversation with Kaido and from her backstory, right? So it's a little bit more than that, in my opinion. Obviously we'll have to see, but the dialogue is there. Marcus Taylor says, chances Moria versus Kaido will be elaborated on. I feel like a chapter or half a chapter dedicated to it would make Thriller Bark retroactively better. I mean, I think Thriller Bark is pretty cool as is. I don't think we really need much more for Thriller Bark. I don't know if we're going to get something. If we get something, it'll be on Moria's end if we ever meet Moria again and he's not dead and killed by the Blackbeard Pirates. Tuna Sub says, random thought. Hypothetically, Prime Garp with Joseph's Fruit could be the most busted, unstoppable character in the verse. It's hard to say, dude. It's hard to say because it's like, okay, if we're doing stuff like that, then like, why don't we give Roger, I don't know, Enel's fruit or some shit, or like Roger Blackbeard's fruit or something, or I don't know. It's hard to say because it's just like, look, Whitebeard had in his prime, he had like the strongest devil fruit kind of, or arguably at least maybe the most destructive devil fruit, right? But like he was still like equal to Roger. It's so hard to say how much at the tip top level the devil fruit really swings things, even if it's something really dope like Garp with the diamond fruit. Onojagrawal says he's always been an above average defender post 2013. If anything, he's worse now because he's slower on his feet. Every impact metric / old film analysis agrees. Dude, all right, I'm not going to fight you on that. But we all know that defense statistic advanced metrics in the NBA are ass, and every old film analysis agrees. I probably don't watch as many basketball YouTube channels, etc., or in general basketball analysis as you do. So you might be right on that. I go with the good old fashioned casual eye test, and the eye test tells me that Steph isn't exactly a DPOY candidate. Akash Panda says, I love that Luffy's biggest weapons represent him so well. Freedom and strength of spirit, Gear 5th, and Advanced Conquerors Haki. Also appreciate the Morge Archive. Yeah, the Morge Archive exists for anybody that wants to find things that are being taken off the main channel and moved to the old channel. And moved to the archive channel. Needs better advertisement for sure, that's my fault. Freedom and strength of spirit, Gear 5th, and Advanced Conquerors Haki. Yeah, no, Luffy's whole power set is very, very well thought out in my opinion. Very well thought out in my opinion. Nyron King says, what's up with the tier list? I don't know if we're... Okay, somebody tell me right now. Are we close to somebody finding the tier list? Somebody tell me. What was the time limit I said for us using somebody's fan-made tier list versus me using the shitty black and white tier list? And thanks, Phantom Greyfire, for shouting at everybody. I see Southkun had a deleted comment. One can only guess what that comment was. We have no idea. Julian Criswell says Blackbeard's unique body could come from the fact that he's Lunarian with dyed hair. Might explain his knowledge and twisted view of the world. That would be really, 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 really cool. But what happened to his wings? Where's his wings at? Cigarverk says thoughts on 3D2Y of 3 days versus 2 Yonko. 3Ds versus 2 Yonko. I don't know about that. That seems wait, then who's the am I stupid? Who's the third D? Oh, Luffy. Duh, fuck it. Law. I don't know about that one, dude. I don't know about that one. That one seems something like me. I don't think Oda was necessarily thinking that, but we'll probably never know. Flamebringer says, "Hey Morge, how was your birthday party last week?" My birthday, not only was it not last week, but this is actually like the furthest point in the year from my birthday, basically. Like, it's it's not close to my birthday. I'll just say that. Ben says, "Will you make any new Chainsaw Man videos since the anime is coming up?" It is strongly being considered. Strongly being considered. Ah74 said you said 15 minutes. Okay, but what time did I say 15 minutes? I have no idea what time I said 15 minutes. Dids. Shit, wait. Could people not post things here? Did I ask for an impossible task? Martin Castro says I'm halfway done with one. Scar Atlas says, wait, was that a lie? No. Nobody lied here. Certainly not me. If anyone lied, it was probably Phantom Greyfire or something like that. It's not my birthday. All right. I think we're going to give it... Rizzy says, mostly colored tier list done. Thank you, Rizzy. How do we find your mostly colored tier list? Do I just go to tier list maker? All right. Tier list maker. If this exists, then Rizzy gets mod. One Piece cover stories. I think if I make you mod, then you'll be able to post it, right? So let's just make you a mod, and then I'm pretty sure you can drop a link if you're mod, right? Kakashi Snitch 9 says, Merry Christmas, Morgie. Thanks, I appreciate it. It is Christmas. Okay, I think I'm about to make a lot of people really angry because shit. I think I'm about to make a lot of people really angry because I think I gave it to Rizzy, but I don't know if Rizzy was necessarily the first person to make it, but rather the first person to just get my attention. All right, it's too late. It's Rizzy got it. All right, it's Rizzy won. No, Rizzy did not win. Rizzy did not win. This tier list has only like Rizzy, you're losing bod. It's over. Rizzy did not win. The tier list has 7 cover stories. Rizzy, there's way more than 7 cover stories in the in the series. I have to remove your mod, Rizzy. I'm sorry. No, everyone, the race is back on. The race is back on. Rizzy, what is this? Did you think I just wouldn't notice? You think I'd get here and be like, oh, 7. That's the perfect number of cover stories for a tier list. No, we want all of the possible cover stories. Gabriel Reed says, what do you think will happen when Luffy sees Garp again? The last time we saw him was when he punched him at Marineford and Garp declared him an enemy. I think the next time we see him might be during the final war. So, yeah, I guess the Monkey D family can only really Luffy can only really run into his grandpa during high-stress war situations. So I think it'll be a heated confrontation, I think. Like, I don't think, like, they'll fight. I definitely don't think they'll fight, but I think it'll be, will be some heavy emotions, hopefully. Hopefully. We don't know. Tobbs93 says, your thoughts on Joy Boy's Ghost Piece theory? He's the only YouTuber I'm really seeing talk about this in the community. I did actually, it's tricky because you always have to separate, do I think, like, would I like that versus do I think it's possible? Okay? I would hate if there were actually ghosts in One Piece. Okay, like actually ghosts coming back, like Luffy talks to Ace or something like that. I would personally hate that. So because of that, I've always had a heavy bias, and I've never tried to actually look into that theory or watch any of his videos on it. In general, I watched little to no One Piece videos from other YouTubers nowadays. But that one was an interesting idea. I just couldn't bring myself to watch it because I'm just like, I just don't like the idea. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people are like that with the raid failing with me. So I do, in terms of plausibility, I don't think it's like an implausible idea, which is kind of sad to say, but I personally, yeah, I could definitely see it being possible that Luffy ends up talking to the dead spirits of whoever or something like that. And I don't know. It's possible. I mean, we just got the Grim Reaper a few chapters ago. Like, Oda's clearly playing with some ideas around death. Like, it's hard to tell how far Oda might go into the idea of what happens after death. Wait. Post made tier list on Discord. What is this? So I go to Discord. Let's see. I need to accept an invite to join the raid will fail Morge server? Isn't this my server? Why do I need to accept an invite? What is this? What? All right, let me screen share real quick. What is this shit? Hold on. What is this? What? Let me. Actually, I'm gonna break the stream. I don't want to do this right now. No, I can do a display capture. Let me see if I can do it. All right, I'm just gonna put this here for a second so you guys can see. All right. So I go to the Discord. It says Morge invited you to join Raid Will Fail Morge server. I am Morge. Okay, this is me. This is my server, I think. I should not need an invite. What the fuck is all this? What is this? Is this how you guys depict me in the server? What is this? What is all this? And you guys wonder why I don't come back to the server. Wow. I wonder why. I wonder why Morge doesn't return to the server. What a mystery. Moving on, Bunfagum says, what does it mean to be a king amongst kings? That's a cool idea because that was brought up all the way back by Don Chinjiao, and I think that's something that's kind of being hinted at now with just the idea of advanced conquerors hockey and everything like that. So the idea of a king amongst kings, like everybody at the top that's competing to be Pirate King. What is the Giants kind of suck? Who made this? What is going on? Giants kind of suck, right? I'm so confused. I don't get it. All right. Where do I find this tier list? Why am I in this Discord? I'm not going to type a comment. It'll give you guys too much satisfaction in the Discord. All right. What was I saying? Yeah, King Amongst Kings, I mean, it's a great idea. Because it's the idea that, like, to be Pirate King is basically, you're going up against everybody that has this sort of kingly ambition, that is, this sort of larger-than-life spirit, extremely strong-willed, like, just the... just the you can use this term if you want, the alpha of alphas, basically, right? It's if you get all of the alphas together, who's the alpha of alphas, and that's the interesting idea that One Piece is built on. It's all a giant like just a giant crucible, basically, that strips away the weak. Basically, it's like you could think of the koi fish climbing the waterfall. The strongest koi fish are the one that are climbing the waterfall, and bit by bit they're going to keep falling off till eventually you just got the best koi fish of all the koi fish, and he turns into a dragon, right? Is there any tier list you would like to see for next time? I'll make it, says Ivan back from the card shop. Okay, let me throw this out real quick. One, I'm considering not doing a tier list next time, but some of the ideas I'm thinking about that I'll make a decision on right now. A flag tier list, Okay, let's do a Luffy's best attacks tier list. How about that? Luffy's best attacks tier list. Could we do that? Ivan, if you could do that, you would be amazing. If you could do that. Also, is anybody close to getting one of these things done? Okay, let's see. Let me scroll back through. Let me find the first person that's not Rizzy who says that they finished it, and I'll make them a mod. Anas Mehmed is the first person that I'm seeing. If I see someone earlier than Anas Mehmed, I think Anas Mehmed is the first person I'm seeing. All right. Anas, the floor is yours. Please post the link below. And let's hope it's got, some stuff there. Juan Perez says, boom, done, but it's a straight 10-minute. Thank you, Juan. I appreciate it, but I think Anas was ahead of you. So we're going to compare your tier list to his. And if his is better, then Anas gets to keep his mod. Let me answer these supers in the meantime. Yamato says, but he, Vegapunk, was never happy with the results. Is Momo's fruit a failure because he doesn't have the abilities to the extent of the original? I mean, there's the possibility that Momo can't make the flame clouds, but no, he can because he's flying. He's flown many times. I think we won't really know. Maybe it's possible that it can't awaken or something along those lines, and maybe it's one of those things where it's like, we've seen this trope before. It's like Sanji was... You know what else was considered a failure, right? Sanji was considered a failure. He was considered to not have the Germa enhancements or whatever, and then turns out, okay, he does have them, right? So it's a trope in fiction. It's like, oh, this thing didn't work, and then it turns out to work really, really well down the line. Failed experiment, blah, blah, blah. Z-Lit says, Happy Mother's Day, Mort. Wait, is it actually Mother's Day? Don't joke with me. Actually, I mean, like, my mom doesn't care about me wishing it's Mother's Day. Oh, it's next weekend. All right, cool. My mom doesn't care about me wishing her Mother's Day or anything, but still maybe wish her something. I don't know. Do you take movie recommendations? Recently watched Blue Ruin and Green Room and highly recommend them. I've not watched like a full movie in a bit. I think ever since I became sad about the movie channel because I didn't have time to work on it, I was basically just like... I was sad about movies, so I feel less motivated to try people's recommendations and stuff. But once I get back to doing movie channel stuff, hopefully in the next couple months or so, I don't want to go back to doing it till I have the time frame to do it consistently, basically. Then I'll probably just pick up any recommendations. South-kun says, me sad, Morji-kun, please fulfill at Big the Boss Wish. I don't know what at Big the Boss Wish is. LD Sparrows 10 says, hey Morj, on what you said on Yamato wanting to be loved, do you think this is why she was so close to Ace, both being children of really hated people? I would honestly have to go reread their interactions. I would have to go reread his their interactions, because the chapter of those two together is a little foggy in my head now. In terms of basically like, I know they bonded over bad dads and stuff, but the the details and everything like that. We are on Mord Strike. Everyone's making fun of me for not being allowed in my own server. I see how it is. Hello Play says, I already posted it, Morge. Posted what? Posted what? Just needed submits. Okay, hold on. So many people are saying they're done with the tier list. Let me take a look in a second. Isaiah Davis says, since you love the NBA, what team would each of the Straw Hats rep? Denver Nuggets, Usopp, go hard. This is a very involved question. Very, very involved question. Let me take a look at these tier lists while I think about it. All right, Anas Mehmed, I think you're the first person I saw. Juan Pred, I'm seeing yours. Let's take a look. Anas Mehmed's. I mean, they both look pretty comprehensive. I think I like the way Juan Pred... Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Anas, I think Juan's got 2 more cover stories than you do, which is unfortunate. But you know what? You can keep mod, because it's the thought that counts, I guess, basically. All right. No, Anas said, I agree, L Morge. If I was more vindictive, I would remove mod right away. Phantom Greyfire says it's more... What is that? Oh my god. All right. If I was in a worse mood, I would take your mod right away, but you know, even I'm not that petty. All right. Let's start the tier list. What does this say? Phantom Greyfire says, achievement unlocked, trick Morge into returning to the Discord server. Yeah, good job. I only had to accept an invite to get back in. I had to be invited to the server that I created. Makes me feel really welcome. Juan Pret says, I'll take the D-mod bullet for Anas. Juan, I'm not going to D-mod you. I'm not gonna demod you. Although I do feel like demodding someone now that you've suggested there's a demod bullet floating around. Keenan says 60 minutes in. Oh my god, yeah. Okay. Let's fly through this tier list. Let's do it. Let's do it. I don't have time to be demodding people. All right. Zealot says, outside of current Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei, could any current Straw Hat beat Alabasta Crocodile? It's such a difficult question, largely because we don't... I personally would love to get some sort of in-story confirmation that Crocodile in Alabasta was weaker than Marineford. It does seem to me like... I like the headcanon explanation that a lot of people have, which is that, hey, maybe... Crocodile didn't have hockey during Alabasta because spirit broken, etc., by Whitebeard in the New World, blah, blah, blah. And therefore at Marineford, when he's kind of got his, he's got his guts again, he's basically just like, he's reformed in some ways, basically like changed his outlook on things. There's the argument that, okay, now Crocodile, maybe he has, no, don't look at this document that says stream ideas. Yeah, maybe now Crocodile has his hockey back, and that could explain different showings between Alabasta versus Marineford. The flip side argument is that he was the same strength in both situations, and that Marineford Crocodile was not actually that impressive. He was just made to look impressive, even though he didn't actually do that much. It just kind of... It's hard to explain. Like, Crocodile and Marineford, he didn't do that much. He just looked cool and, like, talked a lot of shit. And, like, he challenged a lot of people. So it's hard to say. Like, the most impressive thing he did there was not get knocked out by a hit from Jozu. I would say that's the most impressive thing that he did. By, like, a named attack from Jozu. That's basically... Like, okay, if we say that Alabasta Crocodile is a different strength than Marineford Crocodile... If we say that they're different strengths, then my instinct would be basically, I think a lot of the Straw Hats could take Alabasta Crocodile. Like, I think Frankie could destroy him. But the problem is, if Frankie was given one bullet of Sea Stone, I think Frankie could make good use of that, wreck him. Robin couldn't, but just purely because she doesn't have hockey, but I think overall she's stronger. I think Brooke could. I think a lot of them, if they would just struggle with the fact that he's sand, and a lot of them don't have hockey. But as fighters overall, I think most of the Straw Hat crew is above Alabasta Crocodile, in my opinion. But it's really hard to say. Hello Places blocked Mihawk and tanked Jozu. He didn't block Mihawk. He attacked Mihawk, and Mihawk blocked him. So it's like, Hello Place says, and his clash with Doffy. Again, Crocodile attacked Doflamingo. Doflamingo stopped him. So it's like... I think a lot of this is skewed by how the anime made it look. So the anime made it look like Crocodile and Doflamingo both attacked each other. But in the manga, it looks like Crocodile attacks Doflamingo and Doflamingo just stops him with his foot. So it depends. Like, he attacked Mihawk and Mihawk stopped him. He attacked Doflamingo and Doflamingo stopped him. One little tidbit that everybody forgets, that literally everybody forgets, is that the first thing that Crocodile did in Marineford was actually attack Whitebeard and get blitzed and stopped by Luffy, by Gear Second Luffy. So it's like, well, if you want to put a lot of stock into, like, what he did against Doflamingo, did against Mihawk, you also have to weigh in the fact that, hey, we did get a little glimpse of Crocodile versus Luffy at Marineford as well, and Luffy looked like Luffy could have gone another round with Crocodile, no problem. So it's really, really hard to say. I think until we get some more context, you could view it either way. Like, you could view it either way as like, yeah, Marineford Crocodile was a totally different strength level than Alabasta Crocodile, or you could look at it as like, oh no, it was pretty consistent across the board. Readers, including myself, to be honest, just blew some of the things Crocodile did at Marineford out of proportion. It's really, really hard to say. Okay. Let's do this tier list. I don't know if this covers everything. First of all, could everybody see? Does everybody like what they're looking at? We can all see okay, right? Ivan back from the card shop says, Beige is such a good character. Let's put him in S tier. Let's get this tier list rolling by putting Beige right away in the bottom tier. Where's Capone Beige? Oh, Juan, don't tell me you didn't get Capone Beige. I just have to put him in the bottom tier. Where's it at? Capone Beige, Capone Beige, Capone Beige. Where is he at? This is the beautiful pirates. Oh, here. This is it, right? This is it? All right. There we go. Done. Done, done, done. Done, done, done. All right. This tier is actually reserved. There will be nothing else that goes into D tier. Nothing else that goes into D tier. It's just this. All right. This is. There's nothing else that goes in this tier. All right. This is it. This is it. Okay. Juan is clarifying in the tier list. Newsku is Deck of the Worlds 1 and Makino and Dadan is 2. Okay. Thank you. Makino and Dadan is 1. Okay. All right. I need a bit of a refresher here. Okay. Newsku is Deck of the Worlds 1. Makino and Dadan is 2. All right. So Makino and Dadan is during the 500. Wait. When's 500? Which one's 500 million berry? I need a bit of a refresher for sure. Because I'm mixing up a couple cover stories here. Which one is 500 million Berryman? Is it this one? Or is this one number 1 and 500 million Berryman is number 2? Is that what you're saying? Or is there another from the decks of the world that I'm forgetting about? Pound for Pirate King. Yeah, the pound reveal just... That was what was... Okay, what was so crazy? Time Machine, all right? Let's all go back to while this cover story was going on. Everybody... It was an extraordinarily long cover story. Extraordinarily long cover story. Okay, extremely uninteresting from start to finish. Okay? It was just like beige, gaudy, like marriage plotline going on, stuff like that. It was wildly uninteresting, okay? We all believed, and Pound was kind of the the glare, like not only if you took Pound out of it, it would still be a really dull cover story, but not terrible, okay? Dull by newer cover story standards, because nowadays we expect poneglyphs, we expect strong characters popping up, stuff like that. But compared to like early days cover stories, like, you know, when you had Django and Full Body and stuff like that, it's a perfectly serviceable cover story. But on its own, boring cover story. Pound made it absolutely, like, indisputably the worst cover story and one of the worst moments in One Piece history, right? And on top of that, it was so long, so we were waiting and waiting and waiting. We're like, okay, Oda wouldn't write a cover story like this, that's so long, that has such a terrible scene with Pound and everything like that, without some really cool payoff. So we're waiting and waiting. We're like, what is this cover story leading to? What's it leading to? What's it leading to? It's fucking nothing. It's just it. It's just the cover story. It's just Lola it's I'm not even going to talk about it. All right. That cover story was mind blowing. I was just like, Oda tricked us. He tricked us into feeling very interested into this cover story because he was like, what if I made it so bad that they're just like waiting with bated breath to find out the big twist where it turns really good. And the big twist is that there is no twist and it's just terrible. I was just like, holy shit. Drusser says Morge Beige's cover story is not that long. It's barely even above average length. I feel like you have to factor in emotional length, right? How long did it feel emotionally while it was going on? Emotionally, it felt like it took 3 years. So if we factor that in, it was probably the longest cover story of all time. Felix C says Kobe Meppo is S tier easy. Yeah, there's a lot of really good cover stories. Let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling, because actually this is actually going to be very, very difficult, and I should not have started this one so late. All right. Ace. Honestly, this is going to be fucking hard. So many cover stories are good. I think the Ace, it's tricky because the Ace cover story was good just because it had Ace. It didn't really have interesting content, but we just all, like, Ace was such a popular fan favorite character for so long. I wanted to see more of Ace. Like, it was just fun seeing Ace have his own little side adventure. It was probably one of the most fun characters to follow for a cover story for a long, long time. I'm gonna put Ace in A. How about that? How do we feel about that? Give me some feedback here. How do you feel about Ace in A? Let's do a poll just to kind of set the tone. I need to know what people are feeling. Ace, S, A, B, C. It's definitely not a F. Nothing else is going in this tier. A for Ace? I think so. Oh, S is winning? What's going on here? Ace cover story is wholesome? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that's a solid start. That's a solid start. Also, before we get any further, there were two, I think like last stream or 2 streams ago or something, somebody gave me an amazing idea for what to do for the next stream that wasn't a tier list. And I was like on stream, I said that was a great idea. I'll think about doing that for next time. Does anybody remember what that idea was? What was the idea that I said was a really good idea for a stream? What was the idea? Who can remember it? If someone can remember it, that'd be great. The buggy cover story. Okay, so the buggy cover story, this was a rare occasion. Anime viewers, you know what I'm talking about. The buggy cover story was, in fact, animated, one of the few cover stories to get an anime adaptation. And for that alone, I have a greater attachment to this cover story because I watched, I think it was like 2 full anime episodes, or at least 1. I watched Buggy fight Gaimon for full episodes of Buggy versus Gaimon as a plotline. That was a full plotline for anime episodes, and I enjoyed it. Not that much, but I enjoyed. I think I have a greater personal. I'm very biased about this cover story. I would put it high, but that's just because, you know, young me watching the anime. I'm in 6th grade. I'm like, oh, fucking Buggy fighting Gaimon at this point. Phantom Greyfire says it was watching 10:15 while doing a Bollywood dance. I guarantee that is not something I would ever say is a good idea. Why did I ask you guys this? Twerking on camera was the idea, Morge. Bollywood dancing. Hentai watch along. Mark Ross, brilliant. Okay, everyone, golf clap. Hats off for Mark Ross. Brilliant idea. Favorite color spreads. I love it. Why do I still have this pinned? Remove. Love that idea. What a great idea. That is okay. The one thing that I really, really want, I don't actually want to own physical One Piece volumes because the translations are so ass. But I really, really, really have always wanted to own all of the One Piece color walks. If I could own all the One Piece color walks, I'd be very, very happy. In fact, I should buy all the One Piece color walks. Best One Piece color spreads is a brilliant idea. That would be a really nice, very long stream. I'd probably have to set aside more than a few hours for that. Yeah, I think that's tricky. Okay, Buggy is what? Let me give you guys a vote for Buggy. I'm not just gonna plop him there. Buggy. Come on. All right. S. Was it favorite color spreads? I don't know if that's what it was. Pata Thought says, write it down. Nah. I got it all up here, Pata. Don't even worry about that. And worst case scenario, I forget. And then 2 streams later, I ask, hey, what was that really good stream idea somebody threw out 2 streams back? And then everybody tells me it was like hentai watch along or twerking or doing a Bollywood dance or reacting to an episode while twerking. But don't worry. I got it saved all up here. No chance I forget. Was that the idea that we were talking about 2 streams ago for a really good stream idea? Was it the color spreads? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, 45%. Okay, it's actually pretty even. Because some people wanted an A. 45%. Okay, so majority now want it above B. Because 47% think it should be B or lower. I'm going to put an A. I'm going to go ahead and put it. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. You know what? Let's try this one more time. All right. Let's make it simpler. You guys need it simpler. You guys need it nice and simple. Is it A or is it B? It's not S and it's not C or F. Virgil Hawkins says best Straw Hat moments. I would consider modding you, but I've got too many mods at the moment. But best Straw Hat moments was the answer. Correct answer for Virgil Hawkins. All right, he is in fact correct. I'm pretty sure, I'm 95% sure that was what it was. Holy shit, what a tie. I don't think I've ever seen a split like this. That's actually, my hat's out of the race. I'm good with whatever you guys pick. Does look like you guys are swinging towards B. Let's give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. B is the answer. It stays in B. All right. That was I didn't know that was going to be that controversial. I didn't know that was going to be the most controversial poll that we've actually ever had. I've never had to narrow it down to just 2 tier options and get to a 50-50 split. All right. So, the good stream ideas. Nobody forget, everybody remember now. The 2 good stream ideas that we've come up with are what was it? Best straw hat moments and the best color spreads. Those are the 2 good stream ideas that we have. All right? Those are the 2 brilliant stream ideas that we have. None of us are going to forget, especially not you guys, obviously not me, but I might remind myself a little too late, in which case I may need some backup reminders from you guys. Muhammad Aziz Karui says react to Grand Line review videos. I could just make a career out of reacting to Dude in a Room videos. That would be fun. Maybe I'll react to some more Dude in a Room videos. I will do some more reactions in general, but I'm talking more like planned stream content. So I might do the best straw hat moments, and I think best color spreads. Those are 2 great ideas. And best color spreads is going to be so controversial because that's literally just your artistic visual preferences. I think that's going to be very, very difficult. I don't even know if we can do a tier list on that. We can try. Mauricio Del Val says, Morge, you're my favorite content creator, and I'm a voice actor from Puerto Rico. Nice. So I decided to show support by making a Spanish dub of your Brook video. Wow. Is there any way I can send it over to you so you can check it out? Yes, that's really cool. I'm shocked that you would do it for the Brook video, which is probably the I don't know, like probably one of the least I guess prominent videos I guess you could have among mine that I guess you could have ever picked from. Is there a way you can send it? Yes, you can. Could you just message me on Twitter? You can't DM me, but could you just if you just at me whatever on Twitter after the stream, I'll definitely see it. Just that should be good. Saddest backstory? I think we've done backstories. We've covered backstories. Brizzy515 says it was best Strahd character arc for each arc. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out the details later, but you know what I mean. All right, Caribou. This was a surprise. Okay, this might be controversial, but I think this was a great cover story because it actually had such a good character arc for Caribou. It's probably one of the better character arcs you see in a cover story. I am inclined to put this one in A. I would actually put this one in A. How do you guys feel about that? S tier? S? S? You guys want S? I would have put it in S. Like, I was feeling S, but I thought you guys would yell and complain about that, as you guys often do. I thought I'd have to put up with so much whining, Morge Dictator, Lorge, Bollywood Dance, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I can't put in S. They'll call me names and be mean to me. Let me put in A and see how they feel about that. But we're all on the same page. That's nice. Okay, now we're getting the B's in there, all right? But it's too late. I saw some S's to start with. That's what we're gonna stick with. Phantom Greyfire, thanks. Miss Super from Joey Jojo. I think Crocodile not having Hockey makes sense since he was fixated on mastering his Devil Fruit. I like the idea personally that Crocodile had Hockey, had his spirit broken in the New World, it seemed like by Whitebeard, and went basically, back to paradise, tail between his legs. Didn't have Hockey because, again, his spirit was broken, so more so reliant on his Devil Fruit at that point. Yeah, all right, we'll keep it. Okay, I don't want to do a poll for each of these. But let me just do one just to make sure I got, because S is a very, very valuable, it's the highest honor you can get on this tier list, so we shouldn't throw it out lightly. If you're making it to S, you should earn your way there. Unless you're NL's, Great Space Odyssey or whatever. Let's keep things simple. We're putting that up there right away, right? Ooh, not everybody thinks S. So actually the majority at the moment think it should be something lower. I think I gotta drop it to A. Okay, and it's dropping further and further the more I look at it. 5 seconds. 5. If you can get it to 50%, I'll keep it in S. If you get it to 50%, I'll keep it in S. Wow, it dropped way lower. All right, it's not making it there. Man. Makes sense. Makes sense. Garp and Kobe. And Helmeppo. But how do we feel about this one? How do we feel about this one? I actually did not watch this in the anime, even though I know that there are anime episodes of this. But for some reason, I was smart enough to skip the filler on this, but I watched the buggy one. I don't know why that happened. NL's W tier. NL should be SS. Yeah, we'll see what else makes it to S, and then, you know, we'll sort as it goes. S, 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 no. S, S. You guys have this in S? I don't know if I have it in S. This is so like, here's the thing. A lot of these cover stories are really good. This is good. Macaroni Man says, I left for a minute. How the hell is Caribou that eye? Caribou's great. His storyline is great. Like, so many of these are so good. I might go read some of these cover stories after this is done. All right, this is too messy. This is the hardest tier list I think we've ever done. I feel like I've said this before, but I genuinely don't know how we, like, a lot of these I'm inclined to just say A or S, basically. You know, it's hard for me to be like, okay, this is clearly a B. Even looking at something like this, right? This is Gedatsu. This is just Gedatsu. I like Gedatsu's cover story. I think it's funny. I think it builds the world very nicely and fleshes out kind of what happened in Alabasta after everything took place with the Strats and everything like that. It just, I don't know. I like this one. But then I'm not going to be like, oh, but that's better than, you know, the CP9 one or something. Like, it's tricky. All right, it looks like A. I have a feeling that a lot of these are basically just going to end up in like A. It's too hard. It's too hard to do these cover stories. They're all just consistently pretty damn good. I guess Wapple. Okay, let's keep going. CP9. How do we feel about the CP9 cover story? CP9 cover story, I think. Miss Super Phantom Greyfire says from tray number 7. Since you're doing cover stories, what if Alabasta gets a buster call and Vivi escapes through Gedatsu's tunnels? I have difficulty imagining Oda nuking Alabasta at this point. I think it would be amazing if it happened, but just the amount of story, you know, that went into saving Alabasta and preserving that nation, and basically Alabasta to me, I think, is still kind of the nation that how do I say this? The Wano country arc, for example, a lot of these other nation-centric arcs, so like Dressrosa, Wano, etc., they're also about a lot more than just the nation. You know, so this is, obviously it's a battle to save Wano, but it's the changing the landscape of pirates, right? Pirates fighting over poneglyphs, blah, 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 blah. Status in the pirate world. You know, there's so many supernova, etc., who couldn't give a fuck about Wano. It's about much more. It's a lot more complicated, right? So Wano is one piece of what everything is about here. Same with Dressrosa, right? You're talking like, obviously Dressrosa, the country itself matters, but you got the revolutionaries there who are chasing some stuff. Blackbeard pirates, they're chasing their fruit. Like, it's a more mixed sort of focus, whereas Alabasta, I think, is the nation in One Piece that we really, really just got to spend the most time on, focusing on building a storyline to save this nation and make us really care about this nation. And there was not much extra conflicting factors or parties or groups, basically. It was a very, very tight focused storyline entirely on the nation of Alabasta. So, long story short, long way of me saying, basically, it is very difficult for me to imagine Oda nuking Alabasta with a buster call of all places, because that place is really, really, really precious and really important in the story of One Piece. And yeah, I just have a hard time imagining it. Agni says, message deleted by Phantom Greyfire. What do I do? Where does CP9 go? What did you guys agree on? Do I have to do it? I literally don't. It's so hard to do the polls for these. I mean, to do the calls for these. I mean, like, I genuinely don't know where this one goes. I could see it in multiple places. Honda Gillette says, the stream idea was reacting because you said you surprisingly enjoyed it. Also, after yesterday's mini reverie, do you know what the reverie will be? Okay. Some interesting points here. So, No, the reacting, you're right. I did say I want to do more reactions and stuff. I was referring more to, and I probably will keep doing more reactions. I think that's fun. I was referring more to an idea that had been dropped a couple streams back where it was like a planned content idea. So similar to the tier list, but not the tier list. And that did in fact turn out to basically be, okay, so people don't love the CP9 tier list or the CP9, whatever. But it's really hard, the SAB. Dude, I'll put an A. I'll just put an A. It's tight. I'll put an A. If we really need to start splitting hairs and being like, okay, we need to cut some shit out of the A tier list, then maybe CP9's first to go. But yeah, the idea was, in fact, best Straw Hat moments from arcs. So that was the idea. I will do more reactions. I just got to plan a little bit better what are some fun things to react to. And the mini reverie, do I know when the actual reverie will be? So mini reverie versus actual reverie. Mini reverie, I think it was Roger's, and this is something Roger was open about and explained to us basically, like, the larger reveries have become very, 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 very packed, right? They're very, very packed. It is difficult to schedule that many people together. The one that I did, it had to go, an extremely long time, right? About 10 hours. It had to go that long to fit everyone's time zones and schedules. Otherwise, there's too many people that you're missing out on. And what's crazy is that since that point in time, there are now more people who have joined basically the Reverie group chat, blah, blah, blah. So it'll be even fucking harder the next time we try and do the Reverie. So where it's at right now is it's hard to say. Roger did the mini Reverie because he wanted to get back to a tighter, more small scale, focused, polite discussion, I guess you might say. Like, you know what I mean? Like interacting between people in a way that you can actually hear each other and you're not having to talk over or yell over each other, right? So that's what Roger was aiming to get back to with the mini reveries. So that's why he split things up basically in terms of, okay, let me do it in batches, and those batches will be very small, and it'll be people that just smaller batches of people, and kept keeping it a little tighter basically to people that he knew a little better, I think, overall. So in terms of the actual reverie, look, the last we were discussing it, it was basically like JD Legend was discussing hosting it. And I think that's kind of last where we left off. But it's also the reverie itself. It's two things. We're waiting for like a point for it to actually happen, right? Where it makes sense. You don't want to do a reverie and then like you want to do it after some really, really, really crazy stuff has happened and we've hit a good break point where it's good to talk about everything that's just happened. We don't really want to do it while the battle is going on and everything. So we're waiting for kind of a breaking point where it would be good to do it. And second, it's just become such a large group of people that even just hosting it is a very daunting task at the moment. So I don't know if Jay is still up for that, if he still wants to do it, etc. It hasn't been discussed in a moment. It will obviously do another reverie, but it hasn't been hammered out just yet. AZ fan says, Alabasta getting destroyed would be perfect. A theme in that arc was how a nation is its people. Nuking it would be the ultimate test of that ideal. That is a really good point. That's also, funnily enough, the plot of Thor Ragnarok. And obviously if other stories before that, but it's just like... it's like, this is like word for word, like, nation is its people, blah, blah, blah. And like, Thor Ragnarok literally ends with whatever the place they live in is called, being literally like blown off the face of existence or whatever. What is the place that they're for Asgard? Yeah, for Asgard. Yeah. So Asgard's just completely destroyed. I think that would be dope if that's the route that it went. But then why is Vivi having to escape through the tunnels and shit? Is everyone escaping through the tunnels if Alabasta is getting Buster called? It would be amazing to see. Awesome storytelling. I just don't know if that would actually happen. Muhammad Aziz Karui says, just kick the smaller creators. I don't think we want to do that. It's hard to explain too, from the outside looking in, you might even be like, oh yeah, just kick the smaller creators. But you have to remember that a lot of us, myself included, are like decent friends with creators of all sizes and stuff like that. So like that plays a role into it too, in that like, yeah, if we're doing the reverie, like, yeah, sure, we should only have creators above this side, but obviously we should definitely get this guy in. We all have our people that we're tight with or close to who we still want to get into the Reverie. So it's really hard to be like, yeah, this person definitely shouldn't be in the Reverie or something like that, because at the end of the day, we all, like, it's not meant to be a super, I don't know, maybe to some people it should be super exclusive. I even thought about it that way at first or whatever, but then once you start interacting with other YouTubers or whatever, you want to see people that you connect with basically in that same, getting to be part of that same thing basically. So your perspective changes a little bit once you start getting more buddy-buddy with other creators. Joey Jojo says underrated characters / MVPs in each arc stream. Yeah, I think that's what we landed on, and I think that's basically what we'll do. We just gotta wait for the next break week, and I think we'll do that. The color spreads is also a really good idea, but that'll be a long stream if we do the color spreads. And honestly, I want to kind of own the color walks to be able to leaf through it while we're doing that. It'll be fun. All right, back to the thing. Back to the tier list. All right, so this is, as I understand, wait, remind me in 4 hours? If I did update right then, that would be pretty bad. Postpone. Okay. This was the 500 million Berryman. I think that's what that was. And this was the first one from the decks of the New World. Both of these, I remember were cool, but I don't remember the details. I really don't, because it's jumping from character to character, so I don't even remember what falls under which one. MF Bond one says, Morger, you're 24. I'm 26. But I'm glad I look young enough to pass for 24. That's pretty young, huh? Color spread would take years, says Virgil Hawkins. Yeah, that's a very daunting stream idea to take on. What do I do with these? How do I even... Can I rate these together? Can we just rate these together? Are we okay with that? Huncho says, I heard Taekwon co-hosting with Jay. I'm not doing the Reverie if Taekwon's co-hosting. I can't talk to Taekwon. I literally can't. I tried. It was too difficult. Ty defeated me. I can't be around him. It's too difficult to talk to him. Do we just group these together? What do we do? I'm just going to group these together. They're both going in one place. Ramona Villa says 26, looks 62. I did just have my birthday. See? Yeah, I could see. Okay, let's do it. There's no story to either of them. Let's just put it there. All right, how about this? Can we put this in B? Can we put the Gadatsu one in B? Let's put Gadatsu in B. Macaroni Man says the 500 million should have been saved after Luffy got 1 billion. He had just gotten a cover. Where are they now? 2 cover stories ago. Yeah, that is kind of true, but I guess Oda just felt the need to show people's reactions after the 500 million thing, and he didn't want to take like full chapters to do so. Ivan back from the card shop says, wow, happy 26th birthday. Just an hour ago, you're 24. Yeah, that's exactly how it worked out. Gadatsu. Oh, you want Gadatsu up? You guys want Gadatsu up? I hate having to do polls for each one of these. I feel like not all of them warrant polls, but it's just, like, they're hard calls. They're really hard calls. I don't know how everybody feels about each cover story. Germa, we're not going to rank just yet. There's no way to rank Germa just yet. I could easily see Germa being potential S tier if it is the Blackbeard Pirates. So Germa, we're not going to rank just yet, but it would be so cool if it was S tier. I mean, if it was Blackbeard Pirates. S tier cool, right? B for Gadatsu. Although a lot of people seem to want him higher. Yeah, okay, it's B. We're not going to overcomplicate this. Some things need to go in B, right? At the end of the day. Germa, I'm just not going to rank this one for now. There's no point in ranking it. You know, like, what do we do with... There's nothing to rank here. It's two pages in. Nothing to rank. We could put an F. Actually, I think there's no way that Germa's is so bad that it would be in the same tier as Capone Beige's. There's nothing that could happen. Trey number 7 says, would you do a video on Big Mom saying part of One Piece is in Wano? I still think you're right about the raid failing BTW. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I don't even know why I'm saying appreciate it. I don't have to say thank you for you thinking the raid's going to fail. It's just the raid's going to fail. I'm on board with what you're thinking, though. Let's say that. Big Mom saying One Piece is part of Wano. Part of One Piece is in Wano. There is a theory out there that exists that I do believe that maybe I'll talk about at some point, but it is not my own theory. As far as I understand, it probably originated in Reddit or whatever. That goes into how significant Wano is in the grand scheme of things and how tied slash more than tied it is to the ancient kingdom. I might talk about that at some point because it's a very interesting, very, very interesting theory, but it's not mine. Braga's here. Braga says, I'm just happy my guy enjoyed his birthday last week. How do I ban this guy? Let me just ban this guy. Ivan Brack from the card shop says, Pedro could live in the Germas, so it could be FLML. Yeah, that is true. Dude, if Pedro survives in Germas, I don't know what would be worse. I don't know which cover story would be worse. I have no idea. All right, Hachi, this one. I don't remember what much of what happens in this one. This is a bad one, right? This one's kind of lame. The Jinbei one I remember was lame until he found a poneglyph, and then it kind of turned around. I'm going to go ahead and put Hachi in C. I think that's fair. Hachi goes in C. Django and Full Body, that's actually a fun one. I'm going to put that in B. The Django Full Body one's actually hilarious. I think that's fair. Juan Pret says, we met Kami. Yeah, but we didn't give a shit about who Kami was at the time. It was just like, oh, you met a mermaid. That's something. And now, of course, it's cool. It's like, oh, you met Kami. But back then, it was just like, why are we following this dude? And why does it matter at all? B? No, Django. Okay, we're talking about Django Full Body. Yeah, that's a B. That's a solid. Django Full Body is fun. It's hilarious. They just become best friends for no reason. It's just... Django Full Body is basically like this. It's like Kobe Helmepo, but just with way less stakes and way less important characters. It's just... Actually, it's got a good story, right? Like, I'm trying to remember. One of them sacrifices themselves for each other or something? Like, one of them saves the other? Am I totally wrong? Someone remind me about the Django Full Body cover story. They went to Disco Island, I remember. They're dancing. They're doing some stuff. What happens? One of them saves the other, something like that. No, they don't go to Annie's lobby. All right, I'm going to keep it there. Gabriel Reed says Morge is racist against Fishman, confirmed. I did the race ranking, all right? The race ranking, I had Fishman at number 2. No. What am I talking about? Humans should be number 1. If we're doing the race tier list, humans are number 1, guaranteed. I mean, it's obvious. Like, in just every category you could possibly think of, humans are tier 1. Lunarians, I guess, give them... Okay, I'm not counting the Lunarians. We've only ever met one Lunarian. For all we know, he's not even an actual Lunarian. He glued on some wings and is pretending. We know nothing about the Lunarians. I'm not going to say anything about it. Humans are easy tier 1 in terms of races. By far the best race. Then we have the Minks, because the Rhizodono is safe. Easily secures them second spot. Then we have the Fishmen. Some of them suck. Some of them are pretty cool. They can stay in third place. Then we have the Giants. Absolute ass for no reason at all, even though they've got the best physical advantages in the world by far. Right? They're like 100 times bigger than everybody, 100 times stronger than everybody, and somehow they do nothing but get fucked up. Then below that, you have the long arms and the long legs, who honestly they shouldn't even be a race. They just exist, and they just exist. That's it. They're basically exactly the same as humans, except less of an impact in the world and story in general. And they seem to just fight each other. Skypeans are cool. I don't know how to rank. I'll put them in human tier or Minx tier or something like that, or Fisherman. I don't know. They're around there. The Skypeans are cool. The Three-Eyed Tribe is also actually pretty cool because they can read poneglyphs. They're very they're very scholarly people, it seems like. They can read things nobody else can. The race tier list is too difficult. It's too difficult. All right? And you know what? This is not a racist stream. So I don't even know why you guys got me on a ridiculous tangent like that. Let's talk about Jinbei, a fucking fishman. So naturally his cover story sucks. Let's put it around here. On to the next one. Golden Week's cover story was fun. It was just extremely not impactful. It didn't lead to anything. it like it like it it was almost this huge jailbreak, but then they were like, nah, we're gonna chill. I don't even know where to put Golden Weeks. Where you guys put Golden Weeks? Ivan back from the card shop says Snake Neck Tribe though. Who cares? Who cares? To me that falls under the category of like long arms, long legs. Who gives a shit? Where do I do this? What do I put this here? I don't know where to put this. I don't know where to put Golden Week. Jinbei's cover story was ass, objectively speaking. Obviously, everything's subjective, blah, blah, blah. But objectively speaking, Jinbei's cover story was ass. The poneglyph reveal at the end was its saving grace. But I think these were more fun stories to read overall. I'll put Jinbei's here. The poneglyph at the end was whatever. Yeah, let me throw out a poll for Golden Week. Let's see what you guys think about Golden Week. Jinbei C. All I know is that Jinbei's was definitely better than fucking Hachi's. It was way better than Hachi's. So it's like, if Jinbei's was, you know, it's definitely better than Hachi's. I think it's less fun than these ones in B, and it has less of a story than the ones in B, but the final poneglyph reveal was kind of cool. And it did directly play back into the plot in a way that a lot of these other cover stories kind of don't. Like, let's be real. CP9's whole cover story could have never happened. You could just put a big X through this, just make it vanish from the story. It could have never happened, and it has zero impact on the rest of the story, right? Like, we could have gone from how Enies Lobby ended, like the last we saw of CP9 in Enies Lobby, we could have gone from that straight to post time skip, shown them at the Reverie, and been like, hey, yeah, Lucci's in CP0 now. And so we would have been like, yeah, okay, this cover story did nothing for anything, basically. Whereas Jinbei's, the ending did connect back in a very nice way straight into Whole Cake Island. Okay, it looks like this one, Golden Week's ending. Golden Week's tricky too. Yeah, I think a B is fair. I think a B is fair for Golden Week. Interesting, some people love, you see the spread? Some people love Golden Week, so you get a lot of S's. Some people think it's really mid, so you get a lot of B's. And then some people, like very few people think it's A. It seems a little polarizing. Phantom Greyfire says, Morge, I'm once again asking for you to find a better stream layout that fits the chat box. Phantom Greyfire, watch out for next stream. Next stream, you're going to see some different stuff. Very, very different stuff. Very, very, very different stuff. All right, guys. Home stretch, and then we're going to vote on the best cover story. It's still NL, it looks like. 9916 says, reread the CP9 cover story. I might be totally wrong. And if we're being honest, by what I just said there, it's tricky because like NL's cover story doesn't impact the plot in any way, because it's like everything that NL saw on the moon, it's really just a teaser, right? It doesn't impact the plot. We'll probably find out everything that NL found out just more in depth in the story anyway. So it's just a little teaser for us. But you know what? The teaser is so cool. We'll keep it in S. All right. We're keeping Jinbei here. We're keeping Golden Week here. How about this one? The Straw Hat Grand Fleet. I thought that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet one was great. I would put that in A. I thought it was, like, it was one of those that, yeah, it wasn't a riveting story to exactly watch or read week to week because nothing crazy was happening. You did have Bartolomeo, you know, setting fire on Shanks's flag and everything, which is pretty cool. You got some really good, like the Shanks little world building drops and everything like that of him also having his islands. That was pretty cool. But what are people saying cap to? What are people saying? What did I say? I say so many things I don't even know what's true or not at this point. What did I say that's cap? Empty promises. What did I even promise? I actually don't remember what I said in the last 2 minutes. Okay, I don't even remember at this point. What did I promise in the last 2 minutes that was an empty promise? I think that this was a really fun cover story just from like it brings out some really fun characterization for each of the each of the Strahd Grand Fleet. I think I appreciated that quite a bit because, yeah, you could say Orlumbus's cover story was boring, but I think it was a fun little, I don't know, fun little Orlumbus-styled adventure, and you kind of got a little bit of a better idea of what Orlumbus is like than we did from the, just from the Dressrosa arc alone. So I enjoyed this cover story quite a bit. I thought Cavendish's story was hilarious. I thought Bartolomeo and the little tie-in to Shanks was great. I thought Bellamy, by the way, low-key, probably one of my favorite panels from any cover story, easy. Favorite moments or panels from any cover story, easy. And actually, low-key, one of my favorite panels in the entire series. It's so weird. It's how do I even justify this or explain this? It's Bellamy on the island, right, with all of the flags, the flag-making island, and he's standing in front of all of these different flags. I don't know why that moment stands out. I think Bellamy's moments in this cover story, even though they're so minor, they stand out to me quite a bit, like him working for that flag guy and stuff like that. I don't know, I liked it. Just seeing the character, who he once was, compared to, seeing him in this industrious new, the new Bellamy really kind of coming out here. I don't know. I liked a lot of moments, especially from Bellamy's part. This cover story was funny. It was, it had bits of world building and stuff like that, and it actually had some really good character moments as well. Bellamy standing in front of all those flags, I don't know why I think that page is so cool. It feels very much like a man at a sort of crossroads, and, the wind blowing through everything. I don't know, like, the paths that he could take. I think that there's just something really, really cool. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but it's just a cool little visual to see Bellamy in front of all those flags, right? It is such a cool panel. Can someone tell me the chapter that happens? I can actually pull it up in front of you guys just to, let's see. Yeah, if someone tells me the chapter it happens, I'll even pull it up so you guys know what I'm talking about. Anas Mehmet says, more to have a Bellamy fetish. Bellamy is a cool... I did not appreciate Bellamy on, I didn't like him during Dress... I thought Bellamy was an irritating part of Dressrosa, to be honest. And, even though I understood that Oda's doing this redemption arc, etc., I didn't care. I just didn't care. And I found it annoying and whiny and kind of forced in my first read. Now I like Bellamy quite a bit more. You guys want to bump this up? I'll bump it up to S. Let's do it. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll on this one. 914. So we go here. Yeah, this panel is so cool. Look at this. Especially in color. Especially in color. It's just a man who is broken from the path that he was once so, rigidly on. And he's ready to make a change and find something new in this world, right? And we all know the direction that he's going to go, which is ultimately back to the Strahd Pirates. But just standing in front of, this sea of flags, and Bellamy for so long, he was under one flag, so confidently under one flag this entire time. And now he's just looking at this world of options, basically. Obviously, these don't all represent different pirate flags that he could fly under. These are just different flags, but it's just the visual. I don't know. Really, really cool visual. Let me just see how it continues in the next. Yeah, I like this panel quite a bit too. This is a good one. Let me do the poll, by the way. Grand Fleet. Tray number 7 says, Bellamy is in Shanks' territory too. I didn't even realize that. Do we know that? Is that confirmed? I did not realize Bellamy is in Shanks' territory. It would make sense, since most islands in the New World are under a Yonko's territory or something close to that. And a nice, calm, peaceful little island with windmills and all these flags, it would make most sense to be under Shanks' territory. But is that confirmed? I might have just completely missed that. Grand Fleet, a lot of... Okay, if we... In 5 seconds, if we have 50% or more... 10 seconds. If in 10 seconds we have 50% or more having it in S, I'll keep the Grand Fleet one in S, okay? Otherwise, it's an A. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just missed. Hit 50%. I'm not going to dictator this one. I personally think it's S, but... Oh, look at that jump, though. That's a big jump. You know what? You know what? Fuck it. Let's just keep it there. Let's bump it to S. Let's just do it. Yeah, can someone clarify that Bellamy is in Shanks this year? Ramon Avila says, hating on Jinbei and Hachi, loving pretty blonde racist boy Bellamy, we see a lord. Propo DLC says, Morge, read my super chat. Where's your super chat? Let me find it. Where is it at? Oh, Gabriel Reed says, make a god tier for NL, put it to a poll vote. But then we've only... So there'd just be a god tier for NL, then an S tier for Grand Fleet. That doesn't really make sense. Defeats the purpose of the tiers. Propro DLC says, theory, Blackbeard won't have Conqueror's Haki. We've actually discussed this a couple streams ago. As the antithesis of Luffy, he will use the most powerful Devil Fruit. He uses his cunning, brain, and cheating. I personally agree that Blackbeard doesn't have Conqueror's Haki. I think he might have regular Haki. I don't think he has Conqueror's. And this is something we've discussed a few times in the past couple streams. I wouldn't be surprised if Blackbeard has Conqueror's, but if I were to guess right now, I don't think he does. Virgil Hawkins says, damn, surprising people liked it that much. I think with a lot of these tier lists, or sorry, not a lot of these tier lists, a lot of these cover stories, it's kind of the case where certain things stand out and are more exciting when you're reading them week to week, but then in the long term, the story of it is what sticks with you. So, for example, these cover pages that were from the decks of the New World, the 500 Million Berry Man, right, or vice versa or whatever, where it's kind of cutting between lots of different characters. If you remember, that was a very exciting cover story. Not very exciting, but it was a relatively fun, exciting cover story to read week to week, because it's like, who do we check in next? We're checking in on Rayleigh, we're checking in on Shanks. Shanks seems to be at a wedding. You could dissect a lot from each panel, right? Each panel was, each little cut to a different scene in the world, you could kind of get more out. You could be like, oh, where's Dragon at? What is this location? We can make out some more stuff about where he's at, things like that. There was a lot of fun to be had week to week there. I would say something like, Jinbei finding a poneglyph. That was impactful when we read that, initially. But I think in the long term, especially as kind of the novelty of certain moments sort of wear off, like surprise moments or little reveals that we're getting in cover stories, the things that tend to stand out more are kind of how compelling was the story that was told in the cover story. And I think, Caribou getting his character arc, that's something a lot of people remembered and that stuck with them. Obviously, Kobe Helmeppo getting to stick with Ace for a bit, who we all wanted to see more of. I think everybody remembers that as a really enjoyable little cover story. Obviously leading to Ace's, the tragedy of Ace when he actually finally gets to his goal of meeting Blackbeard. But it's fun to see that the journey to get there was so lighthearted and enjoyable for him. So we get to see more of that side of him before, that goofy fun side of him, and like him having just lighthearted adventures similar to Luffy, just solo, before he has his fated encounter with Blackbeard and everything basically goes to shit. CP9, like stuff like this, like these stories, CP9, I don't think the story was that compelling, but it was cool to see the CP9 characters and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of these cover stories, they rank a little better just because the story that comes out of it, like Buggy and Gaimon, not as significant in terms of plot relevant sort of cover story, but fun to read, good character stuff. Those are the things that I think stick out more long-term in the cover story. So like NL, this one, we don't give a fuck about NL's character, but it's got so much lore and everything like that it's impossible not to put this in top tier. Versus the Grand Fleet, it's not that significant in terms of lore. It's kind of significant in terms of world building, but really not that much. But it's more so characterization for so many different characters. And just, it's like episode of the week. Like today we get to focus on Cavendish, and you get a Cavendish style story and a Bartholomew style story and then a Bellamy style story and even an Orlumba style story. It's kind of fun. Trade number 7 says, not confirmed, the corner of Shanks' Jolly Roger is the only pirate flag. The corner of Shanks' Jolly Roger is the only pirate flag on that panel. Let's see. Can we see that? I don't even see it. The corner of Shanks' pirate flag. I don't see it. Does someone who's got a bit more of a hawk eye than I do, a little better observation hockey, could they point that out to me? Are we talking about here? I don't think that's Shanks' flag. Maybe I'm blind, but if somebody could direct me in the direction of it, that'd be good. Yeah, beige and F just by himself, yeah. Morge the Blind. Yeah, where is it at? Django Stories 2... What just happened? Sorry, my computer just went black for a second. Django Story is too low in my opinion. Honestly, here's my opinion. I think everything here could kind of maybe be grouped into the same tier. It's just then that defeats kind of the purpose of a tier list. I think you could argue this up here. I think you could argue this up here. I think you could definitely argue this one up here. This up here. You know, a lot of these votes have been really close. All right. This one, I personally think that this is an easy S. This was the Straw Hats cover stories, right? Again, this might be skewed based on how much we, like, for the time versus now. I think now, actually, this one doesn't hold up as well. Because we get it fleshed out anyway, what happened to them. So the cover story was kind of just a preview. But then we actually get, you know, full chapters dedicated to Sanji on Kamabaka Kingdom, Zoro in Kurogena. Nami in Witheria, you know, like, it's hard to say because this cover story is not as fun to reread now. But at the time, it was so impactful because we wanted to see it so much. Next to Windmill. All right, let's take a look next to the Windmill. Next to Windmill. Guys, there's like 10 fucking windmills in this. Oh, I see. Oh, look at that. All right. Is that definitely Shanks's, though? I mean, he is the only one. It's a maybe. I'm not certain that's Shanks's, but I see it. S tier for Straw Hats. I agree. I think that this, like, here's my case. I think that this one will hold up no matter what, in my opinion. I think this one, like, holds up no matter what. I think that this one is slightly less interesting now because we got, like, better, like, we got to actually get storylines out of each of the Straw Hats at each of the locations. So this was kind of just like a single panel to kind of update us where everybody's at. But you're right, at the time it was basically like what we had really, really, really been dying to see for so long. So, you know, I'll say we'll keep it here because if we did a poll, it seems like it would get S. Finally, Wapple. This one sucked. Easy. All right. Easy. So, I think we've got a pretty good breakdown of the best cover stories right now. Pretty good breakdown. Honestly, so many of these in A and B I think are really, really good as is. Like, I think that many of these could honestly be A. I think all of these have an argument for being higher, to be honest. I think a lot of them have an argument for being higher. I think Oda's cover stories are honestly phenomenal. I'm probably going to go read some cover stories after this. I'll definitely read this one more time. Probably after this stream. Yeah, I think after this, I kind of want to read this. I want to read the... I want to read Django's again. I think these two I kind of feel like reading again. Because this one, my memory's kind of shifty on. But I remember that the way the story played out was really nice and kind of heartwarming for those two characters. And this one was just cool. Kind of want to read about the Grand Fleet again. Yeah, I if I had just read Django's or something, or maybe like after reading Django's, I'll feel like, oh, I should have moved that higher. But for the moment, this is what I think the people voted for, so we'll leave it there. All right, let's do it. Wapple? People like Wapples? Come on. Wasn't Wapples bad? Wasn't it literally just a... Can't believe we got to do a vote for Wapples. All right. The things you guys make me do. Tonmasma says Black Drum Kingdom is greater than Sakura Kingdom. Not going to lie. All right. Wait, whoa. Hold on. I had no idea people like Wapples that much. Am I? Whoa, what the hell happened here? Okay, people are keeping it in... I'm just not gonna complicate it. We're keeping it in C. We're keeping it in C. Mark Ross says watching Wapple get pissed on repeatedly was A tier. Okay, I see it from that perspective. I get it from that. You get to see a character you don't like get shit on over and over. But he does come out on top as the leader for New Kingdom again. And his story is actually pretty funny. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the fact that like he became like, it's a rare case of like devil fruits actually being used for real world like economic economic gains and stuff like that. Like so many people have powers that could make them very, very rich and successful, but they just don't do it. Wapple's actually added like a very interesting piece to the One Piece world. Like it explored an aspect of the One Piece world that was strangely unexplored, and it actually did have long-term world-building implications, with like Wapple Metal literally being right now an important factor in the current ongoing worldwide arms race that is going on, which is actually hilarious. So I could see it. I could see it being higher. I'll put it in B. How about that for compromise? I'll put it in B. But in that case, like most cover stories we're basically saying like most cover stories are just good. The only ones that we have in C are Hachi's, which is really forgettable, at least to me, and these two, which are just like not really stories, but rather just quick snapshots. So like it's like these two, and then this one, which is just there's no explanation needed, right? No explanation needed whatsoever. So we're basically all loving all of the cover stories. Let's do a poll on what's the best out of everything we got in S tier, and then we'll call it a stream. All right, best cover. NL, Grand Fleet, and finally, what the hell was this called? Straw Hats, Separation, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what we got. Aaron says, where's Orlumbus's? Right here. I'm interested. I'm pretty sure NL wins. I personally wouldn't vote NL, but yeah, it's gonna win no matter. I think like okay, no, maybe even I would have voted NL. Maybe even I would have voted NL. It's just too fucking important. It's because like I don't care about the story at all in the NL cover story. It's just those two panels. NL's cover story. It's just those two panels of the hieroglyphics. Maybe it was 3 panels. Those 2 panels are just too damn interesting. They trump everything else in every other cover story pretty much. It's just so much more interesting. I would never say NL's is like my favorite cover story, but it's just clearly the most impactful and most important. Not even impactful in terms of how it changes the plot, but just in terms of how it changes our perspective of One Piece. Yeah, you know what? NL's cover story, I can't downplay it at all. It literally reframes our entire understanding of what the One Piece story is about or could be about, right? There's so many theories that exist right now. That are built literally off of just 2 pages of NL's cover story, I think, right? Juan Pret says there's space pirates, what the fuck? The space pirates thing, I personally don't put too much stock into, because to me that's kind of just like, I think that's just like a goofy thing that Oda threw in that I don't think is that relevant to the rest of the story necessarily. At least that's how I would think about the space pirates on their own. But the hieroglyphics, that reframes things to, like, imagine there were no hieroglyphics, Oda just revealed space pirates. I don't think I would think much about that on its own. I'd just be like, okay, that's just like a fun, quirky little thing that Oda threw in, but it's not going to ever mean anything for the grander scheme of things for the actual story. But the hieroglyphics, it does reshape basically everything we knew the story to be. And it gains more and more significance the further we go on, especially now we're at Lunarians, things like that. So I think NL's cover story, it is deservedly the best and most important cover story. I agree. Probably it's not my favorite necessarily. I would not go back and reread it, although I've had to go back and look at those panels many fucking times. So I get it. Not my favorite, but I think my favorite, I'll say my personal favorite cover story, probably, it might be Grand Fleet. I like Carabo's quite a bit. It's too hard. Carabo's might be my favorite. Maybe Buggy. It's too hard. Grand Fleet might be my favorite. I think Grand Fleet might be my favorite. Pro DLC says, thoughts on Germa 66. What are your expectations? assuming we're talking about the cover story, I personally think that it's the Blackbeard Pirates. At least I really hope so. I hope it's the Blackbeard Pirates and that we get something really good out of that, basically. Blackbeard Pirates attacking Whole Cake Island. I think that would be great. All right, everybody. So that is all for this. I think, yeah, let me do some of this stuff. Okay, this is done. This gets big again. And yeah, I think we can call it on that. All right. I will talk to you all, yeah, I guess next. No, we got a chapter review coming out. And obviously tomorrow's video. Watch out for that positive title.